the most important international gymnastics event that's held in the U.S. Every year it's come to downtown Milwaukee for the first time. Inside the Fiserv Forum, the stakes even higher now as we are just 139 days away from the opening ceremony of the Olympics. Many of the athletes competing today will be in Tokyo. Others are hoping this competition can help get them there, including the young American Morgan Hurd, the 2017 all-around world champ, who hopes to take an important step toward making her Olympic debut less than 5 months from now. NBC Sports presents the 2020 American Cup. Some of the top names gathering right here in Milwaukee, an event that's been around since the 1970s. This is the 45th edition. Great names throughout the years having won, including the two people right alongside me right now. Terry Gannon alongside the Olympic champs, Tim Daggett and Nastia Liukin. Memories of 1985? No? Long time ago?
Long time ago.
This, obviously, an important event because it's an Olympic year. You know what that's all about. Everything accelerated in that year. The pressure's bigger, especially for someone like Morgan Hurd today.
You know, and she really did not have a good end to her season last year. Was left off that World Championship team, which was devastating for her. But this is a clean, fresh start, and she really needs to have a great competition here. She's not going to make the Olympic team by winning this competition or doing well, but it's definitely going to help put her back in the mix.
Doesn't want to take that step back, though, so a lot of pressure on her today. One name we will not talk about today, or at least see compete out here, Simone Biles, who is the best in the world, the greatest in the world of gymnastics, and certainly we'll see a lot of her leading up to the Olympics, but the undisputed leader of the American team, Tim.
Yeah, and the absolute unequivocal GOAT of women's gymnastics. She was so dominant 4 years ago in Rio, winning a boatload of medals. The scary thing is, for all of her competitors around the world, she is even more dominant now, has distanced herself from the rest of the field. She's unbelievable.
So she will be there. How about Morgan Hurd now? We talk more about today and how important it is. And Nastia, you set it up. It's not like, all right, what you do today absolutely dictates whether or not you make the team, but you got to feel a lot of pressure because of what took place in 2019 for her.
Absolutely, and every time that you step out here on that mat, especially given an Olympic year, you know all eyes are on you. That selection committee is watching, and not just at the Olympic trials. It's every single time that you go out there. Consistency is so important.
Well, I spoke to her coach, Slava Glazunov, just before the meet began, and he said the only thing that's good is if she wins. That's the only benefit that comes out of this. She has to win.
Think about that pressure going in, whether she is thinking about that or not. So we'll see her compete. We got 12 athletes here, a couple of different groups on vault and uneven bars. And speaking of the Americans, we've got a young American who is making her senior international debut here at the American Cup, the 16-year-old from Boyds, Maryland, Kayla DeCello, who is the U.S. junior all-around champ, vault floor champ as well in 2019. This a big step today.
A very big step. I also spoke with her coach, Kelly Hill, before the competition. I said, how is she? She's paused for a second, looked me directly in the eye and said, she's scared. She's a first-year senior. This is all new to her. On the biggest stage, the American Cup, she's rooming with world all-around champion Morgan Hurd. It's a lot of pressure. I said to her, though, the thing about Kayla that is so great is she is so calm, cool, collected. She doesn't seem to get rattled. Great start. Struggled on that release combination in training a little bit. Beautiful flight, little separation.
Little form break right there, but another great release.
Full twisting double. Love the way she does that. Really gorgeous, gets completely off the bar. Does all of the rotation, doesn't cheat it at all, doesn't start twisting too early. That was great.
Get her numbers in a moment. She said she likes to go first. She likes the pressure, embraces it. Over to vault, and the 19-year-old from China, Zhang Jin. Interesting what their athletes have been through just to get to this competition. They did not come directly from China.
They actually were in Doha for a couple of weeks before to make sure that they met quarantine requirements. They are staying here, then going to Chicago, trying to get a visa to compete at the next World Cup. Pretty good start. That was much better than she's done the entire time I've seen her in Milwaukee.
Doesn't quite get that amplitude off of the table right here. Little pike position, especially on that landing. That's what the judges are looking for, a lot of things, obviously, one of those. So take a look right here. Some leg separation at the very beginning, but throughout pretty clean.
But not a powerful vault, as you said. We'll see much more power than that. But, you know, you got to imagine she's been on the road for probably 3 weeks. And initially she told me they had no idea when they were going home. That's been clarified. We found out that this Birmingham World Cup in Great Britain that she will hopefully be attending. She'll get to go back to China. I said, what do you miss most? She said, the food.
Got the numbers now, and green is good. You got yellow and then red. You don't want it red, but 14.133, the number for Zhang Jin. There you go. Give you a little better explanation of what the colors mean.
And that was actually a very good score for her and a big start. She is not, as we mentioned, the most powerful athlete, and getting through that, she's got great events, bars and beam.
You mentioned the qualifier there in Birmingham. This is the first of 4 all-around events, qualifiers for the Olympics and part of the World Cup series. And top 3 at the end of the series qualify a spot for your country, not necessarily for you.
Yes, an additional spot.
And how about the number there for DeCello?
You know, honestly, looking at the deductions, you see almost 2 points. That seems a little tough.
That seemed excessive to me. You never know, though. Every panel is different. So this panel, hopefully they'll be strict for everyone.
Sarah Voss over on bars as we continue here.
Great combination right here. Oh, she didn't do it. Typically connects that.
So doesn't get deduction for not connecting it, but obviously doesn't get that bonus that she could have. Great handstand right there.
Was 10th in the all-around. Very unconventional dismount. I saw her do that in training only one time, and I was like, is that actually her dismount? But it is. As I was saying, 10th all-around at the most recent World Championships in Stuttgart 2019.
Her first appearance at the American Cup. So Laurette Charpie ready. You're the 18-year-old from France on vault. Help France earn its first trip, or at least the team quota spot for the 2020 Olympics at the World Championships. That's part of the way that you're able to qualify. Second appearance here at the American Cup.
And pretty difficulty-wise, that wasn't. We're definitely going to be seeing some more difficult vaults to come, but the body position in the air, though, was beautiful. Not a lot of deductions, but the score is just going to be so much lower because the level of difficulty.
So this is a back layout with a full twist. Every time you add another half turn on this vault, it goes up by 0.4 of a point. We'll see a number of gymnasts that do a double twist, so that's 0.8 higher than Laurette has right out of the gates.
But again, you see beautiful body position in the air, her no leg separation, toes pointed.
Nastia, where are most athletes right now in terms of level of difficulty with those routines getting ready for the Olympics, or hoping to?
Well, I think anytime you really step out there, especially Olympic year, you want to have those Olympic routines ready, because anytime you can get out on that competition floor and practice them, the more competitive experience that you get, the better. maybe a little bit closer to a national championships, Olympic trials. A few more skills might come out, but for me, I at least knew that I always wanted to have my routines early in the season ready.
Beginning of the year, there you see the deductions on vault for Sharpie and the number 13.433.
Yeah, we should see vaults that score a full point higher than that here today. From a gymnastics family, she used to go to the gym and watch her sisters. They tried other sports, they said, but gymnastics was the only thing they all could do together.
Spent some time actually with Simone Biles down in Texas. The French team was down there training and posted tons of photos with the two. Sarah Voss, 13.466. As we go now to Georgia Godwin, the 22-year-old from Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia. 19th in the all-around at the World Championships in Stuttgart.
And speaking of Gold Coast, she's got the golden ticket. She has already earned her spot to Tokyo. Do a double pike dismount right here. And she sticks that almost every time. She said earning that qualification was such a great feeling, but she said at the exact same time she earned that, they learned that Australia would not send a full team. They were the dreaded 13th position, just one spot out of having a full team in Tokyo.
As we take you over to vault now, and Ellie Black, the 24-year-old from Canada and the best Canadian gymnast most consider ever, but coming back off of a severe injury, 2 torn ligaments in her right ankle. We saw that happen at the World Championships.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see her here. She said she's surprised. Oh, really good fight on that. You know, the vaulting. She's such a great person, you know, always smiling. But, you know, that injury that she had, it was big time. Surprised to see her here.
Looking to make her third Olympic team. Morgan Hurd, the young American, trying to make her first. We'll see her and the rest as we continue here from Milwaukee, the American Cup. The American Cup is brought to you by American Cruise Lines. Cruise close to home with American Cruise Lines. By Michelob Ultra, who reminds you to enjoy responsibly. And by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. Clear day here in Milwaukee. Chilly, though. Wind's been blowing the last couple of days. They're used to the brisk conditions as we send it over to the fourth member of our announce team, Andrea Joyce.
Well, Terry, you know, there's been so much talk and concern these last several days about the coronavirus outbreak. It's having a huge impact on sporting events around the world, including this American Cup. You already talked about the issues facing the Chinese team. Well, just a little more than a week ago, both Russian gymnasts who were scheduled to compete here in Milwaukee at the American Cup withdrew. On social media, 2019 World All-Around Champion Nikita Nagorny and Lilia Akimova expressed health and travel concerns. Meantime, the Italians also being affected. Direct flights from Milan to the United States were canceled. So Georgia Vila and her team had to go from Milan to Paris, Paris to Detroit to Milwaukee, 24 hours of travel. And even though Italy has been hard hit, Georgia told me that she doesn't feel like anyone is treating her any differently here. So, Terry, I've spoken to so many of the athletes the last couple of days here in Milwaukee. Haven't witnessed any high-end anxiety, but they are taking normal precautions. Terry?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Andrea, thank you. And as you know, the coronavirus continues to be a top story. There's been speculation as to what the impact on this summer's Tokyo Olympics might be. And this week, International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach said, quote, "The IOC remains fully committed to the success of the Olympic Games. I'd like to encourage all the athletes to continue their preparation with great confidence and with full steam." So planning on being there in Tokyo and keeping tabs on everything taking place across the globe. We continue here at the American Cup, and Diana Varinska, the 18-year-old from Ukraine, who is also qualified already individually for Tokyo.
Beautiful combination right there.
Oh, oh, such a shame. She was supposed to continue over the bar, was really going for that handstand. And really, that's disastrous because...
And just didn't quite get high enough on that backswing first.
Yeah, she's really, that's been challenging for her here in Milwaukee the entire time. Every training I saw her have issues with that skill right there.
A little short on that handstand.
Very tricky combination. She's coming off of a big win at the individual, and this,
wow,
that's a little shocking. Just won the uneven bars at the individual Melbourne World Cup.
Mine's got to be racing right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and really just wanting super low right there. Didn't even go for land dismount. That's definitely disappointing.
By the way, Ellie Black on vault 13.733, and Georgia Conwin on uneven bars 13.1. As we take you over to the 2017 World All-Around Champ, Morgan Hurd.
Now on call for USA, Morgan Hurd.
Moments ago, did a beautiful vault in the warm-up, double twisting Yurchenko.
So once again, 8/10 higher than we saw from Sharpie. Really good for her. Really, really good. She was having some issues with this vault last year. Was actually trying to do a different type of vault that was kind of messing up her timing and technique. But this is about as well as she can do. Sometimes, yeah, she's typically off to the side right from the get-go on that vault. But let's look at her feet. Do they stay in bounds? And they do.
Only 18 years old. She told us, though, I'm the elder stateswoman, though. I'm the leader, the team mom with the younger athletes here.
Incredible how much that can just change in 1 year.
Yeah.
That's a great start for her, though. This is probably the best rotation schedule she could have. You know, vaulting is the least nerve-wracking event, and then she goes to bars where it's absolutely her best event. So she should be feeling really good at this point.
One down.
14.333. So in second place at the moment. Very early, though.
And you heard her say one down. That's exactly the mentality that she needs to have, just one event at a time.
Heard Andrea talking about what the Italians had to do to get here and the travel problems. Giorgia Villa, one of them, 17 years of age. Helped the Italian women's team to earn its Olympic spot at the World Championships. It's Italy's first world medal in the women's team event since 1950. They won the bronze.
And they shocked.
It was great to watch.
A lot of people. It was unbelievable. They defeated China, which is crazy. I spoke with the head coach, and he said they had a training camp after in China, and everyone's looking around going, how is it possible that we could beat China? 24 gymnasts, he said, were in the arena, and they're all amazing. Another double full, and wow, is she a gamer, because she has not done anything remotely like that in Milwaukee. A beautiful double twist. This is going to get a very big number.
Gets such a great block off of the table, so look right here, totally extended back and just keeps rising up.
Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Lots of power. Just a little bit of form in the air, but tremendous start for her.
Individually, she placed 16th in the all-around at the World Championships, her debut. More of the American Cup as we continue in a moment from Milwaukee. Back in Milwaukee, where we'll have more gymnastics coming up. But first, an update on one of the sport's main storylines since the Rio Olympics, the ongoing fallout from the Larry Nassar sexual abuse case. Earlier this winter, USA Gymnastics proposed a settlement in which each of the 517 survivors would receive a share of $217 million, and former organization officials would be released from liability. This would not impact any criminal investigations. It was reported this week that the proposal is expected to be rejected. It was criticized by some of the sport's biggest stars and survivors, including Simone Biles and Ellie Raisman, who called for more accountability and transparency from USA Gymnastics and the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee. The USOPC told us in a statement that, quote, transparency and accountability are at the center of our commitment to the Nassar victim survivors and all Team USA athletes. The statement added, we remain focused on our commitment to ensuring the safety and well-being of Team USA and to working with the survivor community, their lawyers, responsible insurers, and USA Gymnastics to achieve justice for Nassar's victim survivors in an expedited manner, unquote. A statement from USA Gymnastics said in part, quote, we are deeply committed to learning from the past and finding ways to prevent abuse in the future, unquote. We'll have more right after this. One rotation in the books here in Milwaukee, and Jennifer Gadarova of Great Britain, who went on vault, often the numbers higher over there. Morgan Hurd right there in second place, though, well positioned at the moment. See Kayla DeCello currently in seventh. So on to the second rotation. Problems in the first for Sarah Voss, the 20-year-old from Germany. Balance beam. Talking to Kayla DeCello yesterday about where you'd like to go in the rotation. She said, I'd like to lead off. On beam, how about you?
I always love going first. You get it over with.
Is that right?
Just the amount of nerves that you already have. It's nice to be able to do your warm-up quickly and just go. But some people don't really prefer that. Some people like having a little bit more time to gather their thoughts.
Yeah, I asked her, you know, how does she make her case to the selection committee to be chosen for the Olympics? She says that I'm a dependable person and I can go up first on every apparatus and I'll deliver. I said, very good point. Back dive to a handstand right here. Oh, no. She tried to kind of make that look like it was a thing, Nastia. What do you think?
I'll leave it up to the judges.
Gorgeous. Just kind of small little check there, but has great knees and toes when
Beautiful.
That's very difficult. Double turn. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. So obviously a fall, that's 1 full point in deductions. It's a shame because she's a wonderful gymnast.
And you know, that skill doesn't necessarily look as difficult as some of the other ones, but on the balance beam, that is extremely difficult.
You see a lot more gymnasts trying to do it, and, you know, watching them in training, you know, you look over and it's maybe 50–60% for a lot of athletes, but for her here, she has been rock solid on that every time.
Just the dismount left right here. And that was such a beautiful routine. That fall just, she's definitely replaying that over and over in her mind.
That's too bad.
How often do your training match your performance or your competition? Did it usually match up if you're training well?
For me, yes. I was very much of a I have to train well to compete well. Wasn't really as good as some people when they can not train well and just turn it off.
But
and
some can. No,
some
athletes
can,
are different.
Yeah,
Mention those pictures that she posted when they were down in Texas, the French team. Red Sharpie along with Simone Biles. And now ready to go on uneven bars.
We're just handstand. Oh.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh,
And that's Smart's hitting right calf. There was nothing wrong with this at all. She just starts to kick her feet moving forwards a little bit too soon. She's gonna, oh boy.
Oh, and you actually, looking at the bar, the things in between the bar that set the distance, because I don't know if she hit the bar so hard it went up or something was loose, but you see that they are now having to fix the bar.
That is, you know, there can be extreme cases where they say equipment malfunction, but my guess is that they're going to say it moved because she hit it, or the coach-athlete combination didn't secure the bars.
Coach coming in, they're going to try to figure that out right now.
Yeah. It's actually the AAI, the equipment manufacturers, their reps are on the floor.
And you know, this is interesting because normally if you come off the bar, you only have 30 seconds to get back up, and can really throw you off. Your endurance and even just your mental state is thrown off. But
I'm wondering, I'm looking to see if the coach has addressed the panel, the judges at all.
She did. She came over and did exactly that, yes.
So,
trying to listen in there, we couldn't quite hear, but another look.
Yeah, it's crooked from the start, but oh
wow,
yes.
So it actually did jump up before she even hit.
Yeah, you can see it there too.
My guess is, if I were the coach, I would say that this is equipment malfunction.
Absolutely.
But wow.
And I believe we're getting word that is what they are saying. And you could kind of get some insight into that because the coach did come over to have a word, but it was a short conversation. So she must have been satisfied with what they had to say. And we're being told right now she does get to restart.
Wow.
Well, good for her. That doesn't happen often.
But you could clearly see in the video, in the replay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So this is where the mental game really comes in here.
Yeah.
You have to hit that big reset button. Pretend like none of that just happened.
This is one of her better events, though. So.
And physically, you hope she's all right, too, after that.
Yeah, that was painful.
Yeah, that's going to hurt.
You've done that.
Oh, well.
I have, certainly, many times.
I've hit my heel or my Achilles on a metal bar, a wood bar also, and it's not pleasant. I don't think that that's going to impact her performance here, though. You know, where it might come into play a little bit more is when she goes to floor, maybe even balance beam, but.
Well, we're not going to speculate on if there is an injury or how, because we don't know. But she's a vet in terms of the mental aspect of it. She is a veteran. I know she's just 18, but been to the World Championships 2017, 18, 2019 as well.
You know, has the experience, but I'm pretty sure doesn't have this kind of experience where something like this has happened.
Right.
And not many athletes can say that they have that.
By the way, as she does this and prepares the bars, congratulations, successful Nastia Liukin Cup last night.
Thank
Once
you.
a decade now.
Thank you. Yeah, it was year 11.
That's terrific.
Thank you.
Taking place right here in Fiserv Forum. Normally the home of the Milwaukee Bucks, who are on the road, taking on the Lakers.
So what is she doing right now? She's spraying the bars. Every athlete likes it a little bit different. Some like it to be a little damp. Some like it to be bone dry. So that adjustment has to happen right before the judges give her permission to begin her routine, and hopefully those bars are cranked down.
That's the thing, mentally as an athlete, you got to trust the equipment now.
Absolutely, and not just for her, but this whole thing took a long time, so you're thinking about all the other athletes who are now waiting to go after her as well.
Gorgeous. This is where it happened.
There you go.
Beautiful. Great combination. As I said, this is one of her better events. Well, this is a big moment. Tremendous job after that adversity. Hit it out of the park.
That's pretty impressive. To deal with that, come back, put that out there, get the number in a moment, and continue here. The most prestigious annual international competition in the U.S. The American Cup continues from Milwaukee. Back with a reminder, tomorrow celebrate International Women's Day with NBC Sports all-female crew. The defending champs, St. Louis Blues, facing off against the Chicago Blackhawks. That's 7:30 Eastern on NBC SN. So the broadcast crew and production crew as well. And among the voices there, 3 Olympic gold medalists, too. Pretty cool.
Yeah, great, you know. We all got daughters, right?
Yep.
Wonderful.
Well, that Sharpie, the number's 13.5. Doesn't begin to tell the story, though. I mean, it does statistically, but what she went through to get there. All right, keep it on uneven bars, and Ellie Black in 6th after the opening rotation.
But the way Ellie Black comes out on top at competitions is she just chugs right along, routine after routine. No big errors.
Great combination right off the start. Another
Oh boy.
big release, came a little too close.
Really has improved her uneven bar work, though. A lot more difficulty. She'll do an unconventional dismount. This toe on. Front with a half. Not her best, though. Not her best.
Expectations lowered here because of that injury, though. Coming back from that, she had that great 5th place finish in Rio at the Olympics, and 2019 once again the Canadian all-around champ. Morgan Hurd coming up soon when we come back. Back with the numbers, 13.8, the total number on uneven bars for Ellie Black.
Let's go.
Yeah, and that's pretty good for her, actually. She had some errors that she typically doesn't, so she definitely came out looking pretty good after that.
So Morgan Hurd, we talked about her. She's getting set to go, and it was 2017. It was a surprise World Championship gold medal. She was terrific.
Absolutely, you know, great athletes take opportunities and capitalize on them. Reagan Smith, the American leader, injured right before the meet. She was there to win the all-around title.
But if you've been watching the docuseries All Around on the Olympic Channel, you know there have been some hard lessons learned from that experience. What's taken place since?
I had my suspicions that I wasn't going to make the team. I feel like my fall on bars was the mistake that put me off the team. I can't remember really the last time that I missed my feet on a toe on. I was really disappointed and upset. I just felt like a failure. I feel like I let down Slava and myself. For a little bit, it was really mentally hard on me. And I was just like so exhausted that like I couldn't even get my body to move. I've been having so much support since the team was announced, telling me to stay positive and that they know they'll see me in Tokyo. But I have seen some comments that have said that she reached her peak or she's burning out. I don't really pay attention to comments, but these are also thoughts that I've had myself in the past. So it just hits a little harder. When things aren't going as well, it kind of just feels like the world is ending and everything's spiraling out of control. But I feel like I'm experienced enough that I've kind of learned to deal with that.
Guys, we talked to her yesterday about that, too. She said, look, what I've learned is if I respect your opinion, I will take that in. But if I don't, I'm not going to listen anymore.
And I think that's something that we all learn as athletes. You know, it's relying on the people in your close circle, whether it is your coaches, your family, your friends, the people that actually are in the gym with you every single day, those that know your full potential.
I asked her, though, what were you doing while Team USA was in Stuttgart competing at the Worlds. She said, oh, that was really hard. Basically, I had to train at the same time that the Americans were competing, and she said I had a lot of rough days in the gym. I can imagine.
It's hard to avoid, too, because you guys know it, but it's accelerated now with social media. It is hard not to see all those comments.
Terry, I honestly don't think I could have done it. You know, it's
Really?
so instant. I never really even read any articles or anything before a competition, and now it's you open your phone and it's just right there. It's almost impossible not to see it.
Speaking of reading, that's how she actually escapes. She reads and has been doing that since she was very young. The Harry Potter thing at the World Championships, which took off. But she said that's how I take my mind away from competition and from practice.
And I asked her, does it ever creep in? Does gymnastics ever creep in? And she said, never. It is my total escape. But this is a big routine for Morgan. She can really capitalize here. You know, I spoke with her coach, Slava, as I said earlier, and he said really the only thing good that can come out of this for Morgan Hurd is a win. She needs the win. It'll put her back on track. And she can do it. She is tremendous here.
In second after that opening rotation.
Nice release.
Beautiful start so far.
Tricky combination right here. Gorgeous. Oh, and that was authoritative right to that handstand. So risky to do it like that.
Little low right there, just the dismount.
You take and you examine that bar routine, and that says, Morgan Hurd, I am back.
Back with a smile, too. Look at this combination. Look at the height that she gets, and immediately right to the low bar. Just gorgeous form.
And look at this handstand. That is so risky to be so perfect like that. You can fall the wrong way, but oh,
But
man.
that's exactly what the judges are looking for.
Yeah, it gave her coach and herself a pause, though.
A pause, for sure. And here's that last skill that she does, a full pirouette. So she lands just a little bit short of that handstand, but immediately goes into the dismount. That was good. That's exactly what she needed to do. 2 events down, 2 to go.
Being left off that World Championship team last year, it's got to be a hit to your confidence as well. But that so far today, she's looked very confident.
As good as I've ever seen her look.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. And in training, she really has as well.
Told us yesterday that you talk about the Olympic year and how it's different. She said when the clock struck midnight to turn to 2020, it hit her that, okay, I don't have much time. This is it.
Much time, and really you can't have any regrets. And I think that's exactly what she is doing going into this year. Working her absolute hardest, doing the upgrades, doing everything possible so that when Tokyo gets here, she can look back on all these months and no matter what happens, says, I did absolutely everything that I possibly could. You know, that's a little bit low to me. The deductions, you see almost 2 points, comparing it to the other gymnast as well.
Right, but bars has been a more strictly evaluated event thus far in the championships. But I thought it would have been a little higher, to be honest. I think it should have been higher.
Keep it on bars, and in third after the opening rotation, Giorgia Villa from Italy.
Oh, that was way short of a handstand.
Good recovery there, didn't let that affect her. Beautiful.
She's going to do some very unique stuff on this high bar, and once again, a very low cast These are called inverted giants. She struggled on that in training as well. Boy, we have seen a lot of wrong way falls on bars today.
Really just needed to be a little bit more patient, wait to get over the bar.
Nice recovery, but she doesn't do all the difficulty that she was planning on doing, so she loses points for that and then the full point for coming off the apparatus.
So you see right here, she goes all the way over the bar, and before she even finishes, gets on the other side of the bar, she goes for that other turn.
Not only her first trip to the American Cup, but her first career World Cup event. And this the first of 4 in the all-around and qualifying for the Olympics. Over to beam, and Kayla DeCello, the young American, who's the bronze medalist at the World Junior Championships on beam.
Very nice start. Nails that handstand position. These are called wolf turns. A lot of gymnastics people don't like this skill. I just think it's not very flattering.
Gorgeous series. 3 elements in a row.
I asked her what she needs to improve upon to be in the picture for Tokyo 2020. She said, I need to believe in myself, and this should help.
Trying to go from the junior level right to the Olympics that next year. Lori Hernandez, the last to do it back in 2016. She'll talk about it. Her coach really didn't want to talk about that. Kind of playing it down, that possibility a bit.
Way to stay with your game. Way to stay with it.
Georgia Vila, by the way, 12.766. You see the number in red right there. Disappointing. And more from Morgan Hurd. Been very good so far. 2 rotations for her in the books here at the American Cup. Terry Gannon, Nastia Lukin, Tim Daggett, Andrea Joyce back inside Fiserv Forum here in downtown Milwaukee. The American Cup with 2 more rotations to go. And Georgia Godwin from Australia ready on floor.
Now on floor exercise for Australia, Georgia Godwin.
She says she's so excited to be going to Tokyo. Her mom is Japanese, and she says she'll get to perform in front of her 93-year-old grandfather. That's a shame. Hands down, full point, and going out of bounds. 1/10 for one body part, 3 if both feet or both hands are out. Oh, she got it back together, though. She missed out on 2016. She was completely dejected and thought about giving up. She went and decided that she couldn't leave it at that. She says, thanks to everyone who stuck by my side. You know who you are. And to those who said I couldn't do it, look at me now.
Over to balance beam now in second, right behind Morgan Hurd after the 2 rotations. Ellie Black from Canada.
Another one of those really tricky double turns. It's a big test for her and her ankle.
Beautiful.
Landing on 2 feet like that, great.
I know we talk about this all the time, but you can see this angle of the beam only being 4 inches wide. Great connection. You know, and this is just typical Ellie Black.
Yes,
just
it is.
So calm, so confident. Would never know that she was out for months after the injury.
And that's new for her because of the injury. She does typically a much more demanding dismount than that, and it causes her some pain. So at this point in time, they said, this is what we're going with, and it was a safe and smart choice.
She was 3rd at the American Cup last year. Ellie Black. We'll get her numbers in a moment.
Nice rhythm, nice presentation. One more to go, okay? So remember you got first.
Part of what she's got to be thinking is to get through this event maybe pain-free and take it from there.
Well, it's a long, you know, we keep saying how close Tokyo is. It's right around the corner, but it's also when you're training 5 to 7 hours a day, every single day, it's a long journey still ahead. So that's exactly right, Terry. She wants to get out of this being healthy.
So that score for Godwin after her floor routine. Now Diana Varinska from Ukraine.
Difficult tumbling run.
Well, as you mentioned, not quite as difficult as she was training here, but that choreography, the dance, certainly beautiful.
Yeah, she really took herself out with uneven bars in the first rotation at 11.1. But, you know, I think if you're doing a women's gymnastics meet, you shouldn't go more than 30 minutes without saying the name Simone Biles. And she says of Simone, she is unbeatable and is like from another planet.
She's not alone in her assessment.
No, she isn't.
Pretty much the consensus thought. Ukraine less of an influence last couple of times around at the Olympics. Varinska will be going there. Morgan Hurd trying to earn a trip. And this will be a positive step. So far, so good.
Can I get the other water?
Back with the score on balance beam for Ellie Black, who was in second after 2 rotations, right behind Morgan Hurd, 13.166.
Yeah, and she was just talking to her coach, and she said, good to know now, because she was not evaluated the way she thought she would be.
Over the floor, and the gymnast in third after 2 rotations, Hitomi Hatakeda, the 19-year-old from Tokyo.
Very nice. Gymnastics runs in the family. Her dad, 1992 Olympic bronze medalist for Japan. Her mom is her coach. It's possible that all 4 of them could end up in Tokyo together if the dad has one of his students make it to the Olympic Games.
That'd be cool, yeah. 17th in the all-around at the World Championships this past time. Help Japan earn a spot. Get her numbers in a moment.
Now on beam for USA, Morgan Hurd.
But we take you over to beam, and Morgan Hurd, you know, that 2017 World all-around gold medal. She also won silver in the balance beam that year at Worlds.
And then in 2018, repeated as an all-around medal winner. Big, huge test right here. Back with a full. Rock solid.
Perfect. And you see her talking her way through the entire routine.
This is new right here. That combination changed her routine up. I think they made some really great decisions.
Beautiful.
Oh boy, just a little bit of a check. Now she has trained here a full twisting double. I don't think she'll do it at this point. Probably just do a double pike. We'll see though. It's a huge upgrade if she does it. If she does.
Wow.
There you go.
Morgan Hurd.
Had that one small little bobble, but that is a gigantic exclamation mark for this young lady.
I got a little nervous. Yeah,
And so the last break at the end of the Dance Like Princesses. Now it's time to show us our
Nasty, you gotta love the fact that she's not holding back, taking some chances.
No, I absolutely love it. You know, throughout the entire routine, Tim, you mentioned just that slight bobble at the very end, but she was just so assertive and so confident and sharp throughout every single skill, every movement, every dance element, and went for the dismount when she didn't even have to.
This is super hard. That back with a full, and I love it because last year she was trying to connect something out of it. I thought it was too risky.
And here's that dismount, full twisting. double back. A lot of people can't do this on the floor. Just so hard, but
yeah, for perspective, that's the dismount that Simone Biles will most likely do at the Olympics because the FIG dropped the ball on evaluating her uber difficult double twisting double and only giving it 1/10 of a point more.
We'll go on to explain that
Can I do a double
at national championships and then the Olympic trials, eventually the Olympics. But yeah, that's been a controversy.
I used to do a double layout after my double-double. So it adds up to the same amount of passes.
just planning out a floor warm-up.
Double A, double-double, full in. That's how many I did last year. I would do double A, double A, front pass. So
You got that, Terry? Double A, double double.
It just will make me feel better since I haven't.
Yeah, it's like a different language. Full in, double A, double double.
But on the fly,
Exactly.
making preparations right now.
I think our coach was saying, yes, just do what we always do, Morgan.
Started the day, though, saying there's maybe more pressure on her than anybody else here because of her situation. Haven't seen that. She's just been terrific so far. Back with a look at the score from Morgan Hurd on balance being lower than you guys expected.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking a look again at the deductions, almost
Kayla.
2 points. I don't see that.
But she's in the lead by a little less than 1.5 points, so it's an extended lead that she had after a couple of rotations over Ellie Black. Over the floor, and Kayla DeCello, the 16-year-old who doesn't yet have her license. Can't wait to get it in August and maybe get her brother's car when he moves to college.
That's right. Deceptively powerful, huge mount, double layout with a full twist.
Well, what a great routine. That last tumbling pass just looked like she almost ran out of a little energy there and was just about to say, you know, if this is what scared looks like for her, then I can't wait to see her just in a few months with a little more confidence. But that last tumbling pass was not, you know, a scared or not thing.
Yourself a little bit. You're thinking you're tired and you're not. You did great. Good job, Missy.
Just a high school sophomore. Eventually wants to go to the University of Florida. See what the timeline on that is. We got maybe the Olympics.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of factoring will come in.
Send it over right now to Andrea.
All right, Terry, we know that it is never easy selecting an Olympic gymnastics team. Tom Forster, the high performance director for the women's gymnastic team, and this is your first shot at this, the first time that you're in charge of picking this Olympic team. What do you see as the special challenge as you look ahead to the next several months?
Mostly just helping the girls peak at the right time. That's our greatest challenge right now.
So you've got a couple of athletes here. You've got Morgan and you've got Kayla. It's very early in the season, but what specifically do you look for even now in athletes as you get ready to make that big selection in a couple of months?
We get to watch them train so much that we are looking, do they compete what they train, so that we gain confidence in them hitting under pressure.
I mean, obviously nobody's going to win a spot here. They're not going to lose a spot here. But as you look at the process, I think that people are sometimes confused by it. And it's even tougher this time around because only 4 gymnasts on a team. So you only get to pick 4. Can you distill it down a little bit? Give us the Cliff Note version of the selection process. What are the most important factors for you?
Well, the process, of course, the top 2 all-arounders winners at our Olympic trials automatically are on the team. So there's really only 2 spots left that the selection committee picks. And we, because of the rules of the Olympics, we're going to pick all-arounders. They have to be good on all 4 events. We can't. And in 2016, they were able to pick some specialists, but we can't do that with the rules this time. So they have to really be solid on all 4 events.
Well, good luck. You've got a big job. I'm not sure I'd want to do it.
Oh, you'd be so good.
Oh, no, I don't think so. Terry?
Andrea, thanks. Your thoughts on what you just heard?
Well, I think he got it wrong. I think his biggest challenge is he's got an embarrassment of riches. There are so many tremendous gymnasts. I believe that you could take the B team to Tokyo, and they could still come out on top of the podium. It's crazy, right?
By the way, Kayla DeSello, you just saw that number? She goes into 3rd place. How about that?
Yeah, it was big. It was brilliant up until that last tumbling pass.
All right, over to floor. 7th place after a couple of rotations. Had that tough opening rotation, Sarah Voss.
And as Kayla, I think she ran a little bit out of gas towards the end there.
Been a tough event so far.
It has, and you know, every year at the American Cup, it's such an early competition all around the world. The gymnasts say that it is too early for them. I thought it would be different this year, being that it's an Olympic qualification. Points are on the line, but there's been a lot of mistakes.
Still early, even
Still
though it
early,
is.
long season ahead.
Yeah. Gets late fast, though, in Olympic year, doesn't it? Been terrific for Morgan Hurd so far. 1 rotation to go, and she's extended her lead. DeSello into 3rd place. Back to tell you, if you're interested in getting involved in gymnastics, you can begin your gymnastics journey by going to sportsengine.com. Here you can find a program and all the information of local clubs in your area. Go now. Speaking of the youth, how about on display last night here in Milwaukee? Nastia Lukin Cup. Pretty cool.
Oh, it was so awesome. Just the whole entire competition. You see here, smiles all around. Just such an exciting day. There's your winner right there, Haley Bryant.
And a lot of firsts. She got the first 10-0 ever at the Nastia Lukin Cup, and she also repeated as a winner. Never been done before.
Think about it, too. They come on the senior level just like that, and we're seeing Kayla DeSello. This her first senior international competition. She's not only in 3rd place, she's, what, a 1/10 of a point from 2nd place. And you look back at the Olympic teams, like the last 10 have all had a 16-year-old or younger than that. I mean, they come right up and make an impression right away.
Lori Hernandez.
Yep, last time around.
Exactly, and it's happened many times.
So there you see the standings. Morgan Hurd, 1 rotation left, lead over 1.4 points, but look how close it is for 2nd place with the 16-year-old.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that 16-year-old is going to vault, which is a huge advantage over Ellie Black's floor.
Made a move standings-wise, too, because Hitomi Takeda was in 3rd after 2 rotations and has now fallen to 4th. So how about what you make of what you've seen from Morgan Hurd in a big competition for her.
Well, I mean, what we've seen so far has been absolutely spectacular. This is the exact kind of competition that she has needed so far. Obviously, one more event to go, but Tim, you mentioned earlier, might be the best that we've ever really seen her. Again, had just a devastating end to her season at the end, being left off that world championship team. And as devastating and disappointed as she has been, sometimes I feel like you need a wake-up moment, a shock like that to really just kind of turn it around, turn that page, and that's all you can do. Move forward, look ahead towards Tokyo, and that's exactly what she is doing here.
Kayla DeCello said when she got the notice she was at practice, the notification that she was actually going to be competing here, and I kind of expect her to say, oh my gosh, I didn't know what to make of it. She was like, yeah, I was excited. Just took it in.
She's pretty calm, that's for sure.
I'm sure inside she was a little more excited.
What would it be like coming here and competing against athletes that you've been watching?
Yeah, I mean, this is something we always talk about, the American Cup, the national championships, the world championships, Olympic Games. Like, this is one of those competitions, especially as an American gymnast, that you want to compete at. So being selected for it is a huge honor.
Nadia Comaneci, Bart Connor, the first winners, 1976. So you talk about big names through the years.
Absolutely, a ton of them. But, you know, we're talking about Kayla, and we told her, you know, you're first-year senior. 4 years ago, Lori Hernandez went first-year senior, made the Olympic team. She goes, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Over to floor, Ellie Black from Canada.
Wow, you know, I am just so impressed with Ellie Black coming into this competition so quickly after that injury. Said she was really only about 75% of the way, but...
Not just an injury, but she had surgery on it. And she is back here today. She told me that I'm surprised that I'm here. We were hoping that that could happen, but everything has just worked out perfectly. Amazing first pass right here. Front full into a double pike. That's the most challenging thing she did all day long on that fragile ankle, that landing of the double pike.
But those landings, you know, that's exactly what she needs to be so careful of, especially going through an injury like that. But every single landing here was just picture perfect for her.
Away for several months of training and competition, came back early February in an event in Canada. But you're right, ahead of schedule, and certainly you come in with not doubt but some uncertainty as to how it's going to hold up through the day.
And she told me that one of the reasons she thinks she was able to come back so quickly is because this isn't her first rodeo. She's been injured many times before and was able to use those experiences to guide her to where she is today. Great job.
Yeah. And I punched backwards a little bit and I was like, huh.
You know, I said to her, I said, so Ellie, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
It's an Olympic year, and you have been knocking on the door of an international medal. Well, she got one, second in 2017 in the all-around. You can win a medal in Tokyo, maybe more than one. I said, what do you feel? And she says, well, you gave me chills, because it could happen.
All right, over to 15-year-old Jennifer Gadarova from Great Britain. Her senior international debut here at the American Cup. Won the silver medal on vault, the World Junior Championships, but like DeCello stepping up and doing things like that.
That was a debut as well. First time she's ever competed that double-double.
I'm not sure how you could watch that without smiling. Just amazing.
And she can jump. I'll tell you what, she's amazing. So powerful. She has a twin sister, Jessica, who is also just a little bit less powerful, her coach told me.
Now on vault,
Over to vault, Hitomi Hatakeda, the 19-year-old, currently in 4th place.
I believe she's going to do a 1.5 twist here. Yurchenko. Oh, only the vault. And so it was very clean, very nicely done, good landing, but you know, you compare that to DeCello or Morgan Hurd, and that's 0.8 of a point less. It starts from 0.8 of a point less.
Just looking at the numbers right now, Ellie Black in the lead because Morgan Hurd hasn't gone yet, and Hitomi Hatakeda would need 13.1 to catch Ellie.
And that's doable, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
But beautiful body position in the air. Chest up on that landing, right down the middle of the line.
Surprised she didn't do a 1.5.
Of course, you've got the numbers coming in right now. 13.7. Jennifer Gadarova. Remember that name, she and her sister, because they're going to make an impact. Look, she just realized where she is on the board. She just took the lead, by the way, over Ellie Black. Look at
that's a PB as well, with a full.
that smile.
With a full as well. Your PB is 53.1. So that would have been 54.5.
Talking about her personal best.
Such an 11 in bars. You have a 13 in bars.
Don't want that.
2 times
Or even a
that.
12.
It's all about the numbers.
Yeah.
Always analyzing.
Meanwhile, Hitomi Hatakeda, I told you what she'd need to take the lead over Black, but it's not Ellie who leads now. It's Gadarova. So revise that number, 13.366. It's still waiting for Morgan Hurd, who has the lead overall, but she hasn't gone in this final rotation.
A little bit of a judging delay here.
I think she just saw the number. Hasn't been announced yet, obviously. She knows before us.
Yes, she does.
There you go, 13.6. It is enough. So Hitomi Hatakeda takes over the top spot. Jennifer Gadarova in 2nd, Ellie Black in 3rd. Morgan Hurd, though, still to come. And Kayla DeCello, who's right there in the mix. She needs 13.2 for the current lead.
That should be a walk in the park for her. Hugely powerful, double twisting, laid out Yurchenko. Emphatically.
And what a debut for her here.
She finished. She did awesome.
Yeah, she said you guys are great. She sure did. Didn't look like her first senior international competition, but now on floor, here is Morgan Hurd.
She's got two big challenges. The first one is her mount, which she can do great, double twisting double, and then she's doing a tricky combination pass for her second.
Brand new routine for her.
And it is a mere formality at this point in time. Morgan Hurd wins her second American Cup, and she is back in the mix.
Nastia never completely out of the mix, but she had to feel that way after being left off the World Championship team, wondering where she would be to start this season as you go into this Olympic year. That's a big-time answer today.
It's an answer, and she doesn't have to wonder anymore. And I think more so than the placement, for her, that self-confidence, for her to know that she is in that mix, that being left off that World Championship team, let's leave that in the past.
And, you know, this is such a pressure. She admitted, her coach said that this is so much pressure on her. So it's better that she had all that pressure because she delivered. She's going to feel pressure at the trials and at the games, obviously.
And here's that opening tumbling pass. 2 flips, 2 twists. Extremely difficult. Just to hop on the landing, really good.
Lots of difficulty. And the finale right here, double pike, great height, great body position.
And you know, I couldn't be more thrilled for her.
And it's not just about her in terms of the American team and the women, because add another name to that deep list that might have a chance to make it to Tokyo. 14.533, Kayla DeCello. So she goes into the lead, and Morgan Hurd would need 12.966. She's going to get it.
She's going to get
that.
Yeah.
Yep. But man, so you're talking about forming 2 teams for the Americans. It's even
maybe 3.
Yeah, exactly.
And you hear her telling her coach, that was my actual start. So you see that maximum score, 15.4. You always cross your fingers that the judges give you every single element, that they don't devalue a skill. So she is leaving here just absolutely thrilled with the performance, with the results, mentally, physically, all of it.
There are more competitors to go, but there's no doubt, no question, Morgan Hurd will get her second American Cup victory.
It'll be the 15th straight year that an American has won the women's all-around here. This event, men later tonight, but Morgan Hurd, Kayla DeCello, 2 of the stars on top of that leaderboard here in the afternoon. Back with a reminder later today, more American Cup gymnastics from Milwaukee. Sam McCulloch looking for his second title for men's competition. The American Cup today at 5 Eastern on NBC SN. About less than a mile from Harley-Davidson Museum here. More than 450 motorcycles. Got the oldest one here. You a Harley guy? You a motorcycle guy? I could see you out there. I mean,
No, I'm not.
no. Nasty?
Definitely not.
Okay, all right. Still.
Oh my God.
How about you?
No. A little dangerous.
And then you go down, and then. Oh wait, no, wait, yeah. Oh yeah. If I could, I would do it. If I was on the ground, I would do it. Yeah.
You know,
I have a video of
I
me
like to
doing it.
eavesdrop, but at this point, yeah, it's a, yeah.
high performance director Tom, he just went by and he said, I told you, right? He was talking about Morgan, Tom Forrester. I told you that she was ready. Look, he told me before the meet began, looks the best I've ever seen her. And I think he's right.
I think he was right. Alba Petisco, 17-year-old from Barcelona, Spain. Floor.
An unfortunate ending. It's so hard to end a competition with a fall because that's the last thing you're constantly thinking about. Long journey home for her too.
Great mount though. Really powerful, full twisting double, but I hate to be doom and gloom, but you fall down in gymnastics and the judges notice. Arabian double front right here. Any fall in gymnastics is a full point off, just a little under rotated. It's too bad.
She was part of that effort at the World Championships. We saw in Spain, got a spot in the Olympics, haven't been represented in the women's team event, the Olympics, since 2004. A little different today. And saying, can you please remove that camera from right there at this moment? 11.433 to close it out for Petisco. Jung Jin in 8th place going into this final rotation.
She has had some struggles today as well. Uneven bars was a little bit of a train wreck for her, unfortunately. We'll do a tricky whip back into a triple twist to start it off. Oh, and that's a shame. Another fall tremendous mount. I didn't see that pass. The whip triple full punch front one time here in Wisconsin. How about you?
Nope, definitely not.
See the yellow flag go up in the left-hand corner of your screen. 1 foot out, an extra 10 deductions.
So those numbers coming in, those numbers already gotten for those two. It's been a terrific performance. We'll hear from Morgan Hurd as we continue. Well, the numbers aren't entirely in yet, so it's unofficial, but the winner of this American Cup is going to be 18-year-old Morgan Hurd, who is standing by with Andrea Joyce.
All right, Terry. Morgan, congratulations. We talked a lot this week about Morgan's newfound fighter's mentality. How much did that propel you to this win today?
It propelled me greatly. I mean, it just felt so amazing to be back out on the floor, especially after having a disappointing end to my 2019. It felt great to come into 2020 on a very strong note.
Well, you talked about that, about how disappointed you were not to make the world team. How different is it for you now, and what message are you sending the world and to yourself with this?
The message I guess I'm sending myself and the world is just, it's not over until it's over. I've said this many times in the past. You have to fight until the very end, like literally the very last second. It's not over until the last person goes.
A lot of folks saying this is the best they've ever seen you. What do you think?
I would have to agree. I feel basically at my greatest that I've ever been, especially it's so early in the year, and I can only go up from here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Terry?
Andrea, pretty big statement as we check those final standings. Top 5, those numbers locked in. And how about Kayla DeCello in her senior international debut?
A very big moment for that young lady, and it shows once again just how dominant Team USA is. This is an Olympic qualifier. They've got the 2 top spots without Simone Biles being here.
And how competitive it's going to be just to make the team, Nastia.
It's going to be extremely competitive, but you know what? I think after today, Morgan Hurd has just absolutely done herself a huge favor, had such a great competition, and if not for anybody else, but for herself. Her confidence is back, she is back.
If it's true that it's a win or nothing else in terms of a positive step, took a big positive step towards trying to make that Olympic team for Tokyo. Don't forget, we got more coverage of this 2020 American Cup tonight, 5 Eastern, NBCSN. Sam McCulley looking to win his 2nd title. Coming up next, it's the 3rd round of the Arnold Palmer Invitational from Bay Hill. Later tonight, all new Saturday Night Live with host Daniel Craig and musical guest The Weeknd. Morgan Hurd, gold medalist here at the American Cup for Nastia Lukin, Tim Daggett, and Andrea Joyce. I'm Terry Gannon. So long, everyone, from Milwaukee.
Simone Biles.
Power like no one else.
Secowitz desperately trying to hold on. He got it. The United States has won the gold.
This is a presentation of the Olympic Channel, home of Team USA.